Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Happy to find you here. There you see behind me Bishop T.D. Jakes, who has been in the news, particularly lately, of an illness with the church's calling had a health concern. Some media or some reports said that it was a stroke, and some said that it's just an unidentified health concern, but he's reportedly doing better and is recovering. I'll say that. So this piece is not about his illness, and I do hope that he is found well very soon. This post is, and I'm going to give myself a disclaimer on this. I'm going to give myself a disclaimer that I know you're probably not going to agree with me. I know that it's going to be some rattling of the feathers, and some are going to go, how dare you say that? And some are going to come to, oh, that's the church, don't go, and all of that. I understand that. Respectfully, this is just an opinion. And it is probably an opinion that just hasn't been verbalized so much openly unless it's in a private conversation. But the truth of the matter is some of the matters that I'd like to discuss right now, particularly since I have always said from the very beginning that my channel is about the ABCs of life, the accountability, behavior, and conduct of a person. Knowing that we're all imperfect, knowing that we can all fall from grace, and knowing that to whom much is given, much is required. So having said that, show me some grace too about my views. And so let's share my views. Not only with T.D. Jakes, but many pastors. And please, if you are one, don't take it personal if it doesn't apply to you. But I will say that my heart is broken and my soul is hurt. That is so common that the character of the person is on display. And it has such a shortcoming that it's disturbing. There has been so many pastors that have fallen shamefully by their own conduct and secrets that they keep. From Jim Baker to Jimmy Swaggart to Eddie Long, T.D. Jakes now, sharing and having himself at P. Diddy's parties and partying with him, and all the footage that we see of a man who leads a flock the size that it is, shaking and shimmering, and all of this doesn't line up with the cloth that you're to cloak and the Bible that you're to tote. Now, don't get mad at me about it. It's not my calling. I have my own purpose, and it is the desire and ability to present an undeniable truth in such a way that it is not to judge the person, but is to present their issues. Not to do anything else, but to say, be accountable for yourself. And I have for years been disquieted and uncomfortable with many reports. I just named a few because I don't want to go into the archives and do a thorough research of all the many claims of prostitution, even rape, tax evasions, taking money from the church. That whole story with Joel Osteen, when he wouldn't open his church, he wouldn't open his church to house people during a hurricane. And then later found money embedded in the walls of that church. Shameful things like that. Shameful things that have been talked about and not a thing done about it is a problem for me. And while, again, I say it has nothing to do with his situation right now for TD Jakes, but it has everything to say. This wasn't overnight. The partying, the behaviors, the reports by numerous men that had some affairs with him, and that's okay. You see, is what I'm saying. And we don't seem to, as a collective, as a church collective, do anything about it. Say we go pray about it. You go pray about it again. So this the next, we go pray about it. Now, some people say that's cynical. That's not cynical, that's truth. That's truth. Perhaps God allowed it to be presented again and again and again, and still nothing done about it. That's the accountability part. That's the behavior that's being on display. That's the conduct that's being shown. And now all of a sudden there's a press conference that says, I'm a miracle. I'm a miracle. Perhaps that's in relation to the health scare. But if you have any strategic understanding, and I'm not suggesting, but I'm just saying, if you have any strategic understanding, the timeliness, and again, I'm not suggesting, with all the things that P. Diddy, and the names that just keep coming up, and his coming out, obvious forms of protection are in place that can't be subpoenaed, and all of that is just insulting to the body of Christ, by which you claim devotion, to do nothing about it but claim to pray. And I'm cynical. Wake yourselves up. I'm not cynical. I'm righteous. And recognize that. Recognize the difference. The righteous person says, how dare you? The righteous person speaks an undeniable truth. The righteous person says, I serve a mighty God, that if you go lie on me, I'm going to tell the truth on you. So let the truth be told. Now, I'm not suggesting you don't love your pastor if you are in that church, and you don't have to bring your daggers to me. Please don't post your negative comments. Go back to him and ask him for ABC. Ask him to be accountable. Ask him to change his behavior. Ask him to clean up his conduct. And show some righteousness when you do, is all I'm saying. Because shame on the church for having not done any altar boys in the Catholic Church, men whose lives were ruined by men they looked up to, and they carried their role. How disgusting to the soul. How disgusting to the soul. And the quietness that it is swept under secrecy through a settlement by which you can't even Speak out about it. So it's allowed to some degree. It's shameful. Now, ain't the truth testy? Ain't the truth a troublemaker? Ain't the truth a thing? And ain't the truth the truth? So don't get mad at me about the truth. Fix your faulty ways. And that should take you to your knees to pray. And I hope you do. Or shall I say, I pray you do. Because I serve a mighty God. And you do not disturb his us. Okay? Good night.